Welcome back to a new video. So in this workout, I did a... Sorry, I thought Charles was eating something outside. But anywho, I did back squats, then some overhead press, push press, and jerks. And since this was the second squat day of the week, it was focused on going a bit heavier with the overhead stuff. And it also happened to be the day where I was able to go pretty heavy on squats as well. When I say pretty heavy, I've done after this squat is the heaviest back squat I've done in several months. But I was able to do this 495 and it actually moved pretty smooth. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought it would be extremely difficult, but it moved good. I think that this is about what my max is going to be before my competition, because I'd say the next week I tried a 230 back squat and I missed that. And I actually strained my calf on drop sets, which is really weird, but you'll see that video. It's nothing like weird looking or like gruesome. It was like a cramp, and then I think it just kind of is sore from that, at least on the current day. This is about 5 or 6 days before that. But the drop sets, I did them kind of like the Pat Mendez triples, which if you are into the weeds of weightlifting and you know anything about Pat Mendez, he talked about doing a lot of like speed triples. So trying to do a triple, but doing the triple as quick as you can, so like no rest in between. And for me, I'm really bad about doing reps like that, so it's kind of actually a difficult thing to do on drop sets. But I was able to work up to 170 there for that last triple, and it felt pretty decent. Still pretty difficult, but for drop sets, it's pretty good. If you hear licking in the background, Bo, the other dog, is licking one of his paws. But as you saw, the overhead press went pretty decent. I wasn't able to do that 93, but it is what it is. I'm not as worried about my overhead press being strong right now. But I started with the 102 push press, went up to 111, and then I was able to do 120. Before the competition, or as I get to it, I would like to be able to do like a 130, but I'm not. It's not the end of the world if I can't, as long as I'm able to do like the 120 plus consistently, and maybe like 125 consistently, then I'll be happy. This 130 is the first jerk I did, and I was really happy with that. And that's one thing I've always noticed, that when I get into the habit of doing a lot of push presses, my jerks always do a bit better just because of the practice of the leg drive. Because with push presses, you really have to be pushing vertically, or at least push almost back a little bit in order to complete the rep. And then once you get heavier with jerks, it obviously leads into doing the same thing, just with a split. But my split is actually, I feel like it's gotten a little bit better too as far as my footwork. So I think just doing more practice during the week has been helpful as well. But the rest of this week went pretty decent. The calf strain isn't until next week. It's a really weird one, but I'm being overly cautious with it. So I took actually 2 days off of training because the day after it was still pretty sore. I could have done some overhead stuff, but I didn't really want to. And then the next day, I was like in between. I kind of warmed up a little bit before I went out to the shed, or before I thought about going out to the shed to train. And I was like, it's probably good enough. But just like with my hip before, when I first injured it, I finished the workout, and you'll see in that workout, like I finished the workout that I did. But then the next day, or I think within like the next week, is when I like injured it worse, or like re-injured it. So I don't want to be dealing with a calf of all random things, because it is only painful at the bottom of a squat, and it's not like preventing me from squatting, but it's just like that bouncing. The stretch reflex when you're bouncing in the bottom of a squat is where it's uncomfortable. So just being a little overly cautious, and if anything, I'll just be more recovered for the heavy day at the end of this training week. But so far, everything's going well. Just a little calf thing, and just we'll get through it. It's nothing, I don't think it's anything too major. It's just more of like a cramp that I had, and it's just sore from that. So I don't think there's anything injured from it, because after I felt it starting to cramp, I did another 200 kilo squat, because I did a 200 kilo triple when I injured it. So and I did jerks after. So if I went Aaron Rodgers and tore my Achilles, I don't think I would have been able to do that. But anywho, hopefully you'll get better with that. But the rest of the training that you'll see until that training session went well as well. So everything's moving in the right direction. Just got to get my calf right. But anywho, that's enough blank space at the end. Talk to you all in the next one. Peace.